The Squid Game introduced us to many dark characters, and one of the most surprising in this season was player 333. The YouTuber player showed a level of evil rarely seen before. Because of this, his character earned the hatred of many fans. That's why today on Charlietales I bring you a video analyzing this interesting character. We'll explain his motivations and interesting facts. Ready? Let's begin. Player 333 is actually named Myung-gi, but in the past, he was a YouTuber known as MG Coin. He entered the Squid Game because he convinced thousands of his followers to invest money with him. However, the investments failed and everyone lost their money. That's why Myung-gi ended up in debt and entered the games to fix his life. Within the games, he would make several decisions that would turn him into the season's main villain. We're talking about someone capable of eliminating his own daughter to win. To analyze this character and understand his motivations, we must begin with something important: his relationship with player 222, his ex-girlfriend. Did he really love her? The short answer is no, he never loved her. I've read people justifying Myung-gi by arguing that he turned bad because of his ex-girlfriend's death. This makes no sense. We must remember that this man abandoned his pregnant girlfriend long before the games, and he didn't even answer her calls. This character was already bad from the beginning. At several points they reconnect, but Myung-gi confirms he doesn't really love her. In Season 2, he tells her they could vote together to leave the games. The plan seems good, but Myung-gi says that if they leave, he'll take both of their money to pay his debts and use the rest to invest. In other words, he only wanted his ex-girlfriend to use her share of the money. In the jump rope game, he is given a second chance. His ex-girlfriend has a broken ankle and can't jump. Myung-gi initially wanted to help her, but when he saw her injured ankle, he simply abandoned her. He never had the courage to fight for her. With all this context, it's clear to me that he never loved her. At this point, I must clarify something important. Myung-gi is a villain. He is not an anti-hero, nor just any rival. He is a villain and committed atrocities for selfish reasons. Specifically, he did it all for money. Greed is the sin that perfectly represents this character. In both seasons, we were shown several moments in which this greed unleashed his worst instincts. This character had several chances to be one of the good ones, but his greed always betrayed him. In the maze game, he made a deal with his ex-girlfriend, eliminate a player, and then find her to protect her. The plan was dark, but had good intentions. However, Namgyu offered him the chance to eliminate more blue players. This would increase the prize money. Myung-gi accepted this option, which led him to eliminate player 120 by mistake. Here he could have saved his girlfriend and shown he was a good person, but because of his greed, he failed. Because of this event, player 222 completely lost faith in him. Greed was the origin of his failure. We have another example of this in the final game. Myung-gi brilliantly manipulated everyone to stay alive and at the same time save his daughter. In the second to last round, almost everyone was eliminated. They just had to move on to the next phase. And along with Gi-hun, they could leave alive with the baby. However, here Myung-gi made a fatal mistake. He eliminated player number 100 to increase the prize money. He didn't do this for revenge or precaution. It was for money. He even told player 100 that the prize would increase just by eliminating him. Myung-gi thought he would be safe because there was still one more player to eliminate, but he didn't expect that player to eliminate himself. Once again, his greed ruined everything. He had the chance to leave with the money and with his daughter. He could have started over, been a better person, even corrected his mistakes for his daughter. But no. He wanted the money. He always did. He wasn't going to change. That's why Gi-hun had to stop him. Greed alone isn't the worst sin, but in MG Coin's case, it made him the worst version of himself. Let's talk about Myung-gi's skills. Objectively, as a Squid Game player, he was very talented. He was able to kill easily when the situation called for it. In the maze game, he eliminated many players without hesitation. He is a character with a cold-blooded nature and doesn't need drugs to take courage. This gives him a huge advantage over other players. In the Squid Game, many are limited by their moral values. Myung-gi was capable of leaving everything aside to attack when necessary. His physical ability is also notable. In games like Jump Rope, he showed great strength and endurance. He's not someone who lets nerves get to him. This is especially important because in the Squid Game, many players are eliminated due to their own fears. The fear of dying makes them nervous and causes mistakes. Myung-gi never made that kind of mistake. He was always very cold in his actions, and from beginning to end, he showed self-control. But perhaps the most important skill Myung-gi has is his ability to manipulate. He is a natural liar. He knows how to deceive people, and he showed it many times. We especially saw this in the grand finale. From the dinner, he kept it a secret that he was the baby's father. He did this because he knew he would be at a disadvantage if he confessed. This lie allowed him to infiltrate Player 100's group and destroy them from within. In this game, he completely shined. I'd even dare to say that Gi-hun wouldn't have survived if it weren't for his strategy. In the final round, he devised a dark but efficient plan to defeat Gi-hun. He demanded that he hand over the baby because he knew he could sacrifice her. His plan was perfect. But Gi-hun is the protagonist. He already won the games before. Only someone as skilled as Gi-hun could beat a perfect strategy. Myung-gi is a very interesting character, perhaps one of the darkest villains in Squid Game. He could have won the games if it weren't for the fact that he faced the protagonist. Many have compared him to the legendary Sang-woo, a character from the first season, and the comparison makes sense. Both are dark characters, with a great ability to manipulate and willing to do anything to win. However, there is a key difference. Sang-woo did bad things, but deep down he was a good person. Myung-gi, on the other hand, was always evil. This is easily proven. Sang-woo entered the games because he made a mistake with some investments and put his mother's business as collateral. He wanted to win money so he wouldn't disappoint or hurt his mom. If Sang-woo had been evil, he would have simply abandoned her and let them take her business. On the other hand, Myung-gi entered the games after scamming his followers. And not only that, he abandoned his pregnant girlfriend in a terrible situation. The clearest difference between the two characters comes in the grand finale. When Sang-woo was defeated by Gi-hun, his friend offered him the chance to give up the games and escape together, but Sang-woo rejected this option because they would lose the money. Sang-woo preferred to surrender, so that Gi-hun could leave with the money and help his mother. In his final moments, Sang-woo thought of his mother and knew it was the best decision. On the other hand, MG Coin did the exact opposite in his final moments. He was willing to eliminate his own daughter to win. It is said that everyone shows their true face at the end of their life. Sang-woo showed his by thinking of his mother. Myung-gi showed his by only thinking of himself. He had no redemption. If there was goodness in him, it left long ago. Because of all this, I can say that Sang-woo and Myung-gi are very different. Myung-gi is perhaps the darkest character in the entire series. If we wanted to make a versus between them, I would say that Sang-woo was physically stronger. He was more mature and had more experience. I would lean towards Sang-woo immediately. But that's a topic for another video. If you want a more complete versus between Sang-woo and Myung-gi, let me know in the comments. That's all for today. If you liked the video, you'd really help me out by leaving a like. That would be legendary. Also, remember to subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for listening. My name is Charlie, and I'll see you in the future.